It was a Valentine's Day, the 14th February that year, a day set aside to remember Mr. Valentine, a man that believed in love and died holding on to his belief. The day was calm and cool, soft breeze resting on the head of many who abandoned shelter. The sun decided to take a rest that day, so it was not sunny. A good atmosphere for those who love spending time at Love Garden, and a bone of sorrow to those whose heart was shattered by love. Friends use this day to appreciate their parties. Families take it as an opportunity to express their love to their spouse. Even enemies with conscience use it to settle quarrels. Just like many family, Mr. Adolphus is a hardworking man who hardly stay home. He traveled from state to state working as an engineer and a contractor. But on this day, he decided no matter what happened, family is first and must be given the priority and attention it deserves. Mr. Adolphus is married to a beautiful lady who deals on supplies but stays at home to coordinate it, and was moving, for she have good hands manning it. Mrs. Roslin is a mother of three, but one will adopt it except from right source. So, Mr. Adolphus is a proud father of three teenagers. They have made some fortune in life. They are well to do in their level. As you can see from the images, they are not in need of anything. They are not lacking anything money can give. As an engineer, it was an opportunity to display his architectural skill in his own duplex. It's a source of marketing his skills. A very gigantic and massive building with a lot of sampling stars. What was not in that building was worth that was not befitting a wealthy engineer. Daddy is not always available, only pushing in money as if it will take care of everything. Mommy, on the other hand, is always hiding to answer call in her room. And when she is not answering those business partners, only God knows what she'll be doing. She will be resting in her room. Whenever one calls her, she'll say, "Do not disturb me, get out of my room." Watching movies only. I wonder how this family is even going. No attention, no care, and no love. This is what one of the kids laments about. At a point, one wonders what she is resting from. Was it famine or from phone calls? Showcasing being there but not there. Irony. So, with that, she have a less than no knowledge of things happening around her children, which is an opposite direction of the plan Mr. Adolphus had in mind to establish that business for her. She and he planned it. He was of the opinion with his wife doing jobs that gives her time, she will be able to give adequate attention to his kids. But the reverse was the case. The aim was defeated. Children were left to do whatsoever they feel and they want to do. Youthful exuberance is a vagabond. It goes roaming looking for empty vessels to occupy. Unfortunately, Mr. Adolphus' children were readily available to be used by youthful exuberance. Miss Savage will leave the house at will, roam the streets to her satisfaction, looking for ways to fill the vacuum. Later, she will return like an innocent cat without the mother noticing a thing. While at home, Master Romanus Adolphus, one of the teenage sons, was indoctrinated into taking hard substances by the unnecessary freedom they had. How can a mother be at home and this will be happening in her nose? No wonder it is said, not every lady is a mother. There is an adage that says, a goat do not strangulate itself when an adult is at home. But there are adults that can be at home. It will be looking as though the home is filled with children. What an irony. That's abnormal. One day in school, it was the female teachers that rushed to her cover when her skirt was soaked. It was that bad and shameful. Many asked Miss Savage, "Don't you have a mother?" Miss Savage, in reply, said, "She's not around," just to cover her mother up. She will just be mood sometimes. Sorry, my dear. What can you do? You have to cover the home, the family. But till it gets to a breaking point. Around their compound, there lived a neighbor, Mr. Martins by name. He is a well-built young man, physically very handsome, with soft skin, but not with a soft heart, a desire of those with skirt. Mr. Martins is a terrible creature whose upbringing met a very hot iron, which later pushed him to the street. He has this inner, unexplainable anger towards the opposite sex, the female gender. Yet, he portrays himself to be very romantic towards them and loving, knowing they love such things and can fall for sweet words. Mr. Martins focuses on defiling teenagers. Mr. Martins is married with kids, but he's living alone in the town, while the family based in the village. He's in town. And while he's in town fornicating with these ladies, promising them heaven on earth, they will not know that he don't have any future plan with them because they find him to be alone. He will never marry them. Nothing on skirt passes Mr. Martins. Every evening, during the cool of the day and during the close of work for the day, he will come out to a particular spot by the road, through a street, to watch girls, both those returning from school and those sent on an errand. Sometimes he will stay at a close-by bar just to watch. He will check most of the ladies and most of the girls. He does not force them, but he promises them marriage. He will spoil them with gifts, romance, and care. Anyone who falls victim will continue to service him till the day the person will see what others saw to run. He looks for those to this virgin, and many of them don't have the heart to come after him because he did not force them. His most lucrative there is the Valentine's Day, knowing that not all girls have boyfriend, and many will be looking for how to link up and be like their peers. And some, their boyfriends may not have money to treat them romantically of how and what the day demands. A lot of girls fall prey to him this day. Even most of them that have a genuine boyfriends will be looking for those with money that will throw up the wines. He has mastered the tricks. He always looks out for these days. Over time, he has been looking at Miss Savage, been talking to her and buying her heart. All that Miss Savage need was the company. She lacks nothing money can buy. He was just going gradually, knowing the red flower day is on the way. I believe we understand what we mean by the red flower day, the Valentine's Day. Love is too big to be expressed only but in a day. Love is meant to be expressed every day of our life. On that fateful Valentine's Day, Mr. Adolphus returned home with clothes, gifts for his children, and the mother to go spoil them. Miss Savage refused to go with them. After the father pleaded and encouraged and did all he could with the mother, pampering and beating them, she refused to go with them, claiming she is having stomach pain. And trust teenagers, when they want to convince you that they are sick or they're having one pain or the other to dodge something, they will get you convinced. And seeing her time, that's what she said. Are you going to try that to confirm as a man or the mother? No, you won't show them that you doubt them. They tried all they could, but she softly declined because she have plan B with Master and Mr. Martins. As the family left, she went to their house, decorated it like those things she used to see or watch in the movie. Already, there were wines and materials at home. She invited Mr. Martins to the house. Her aim was to play, spend some time together, talking as she had started loving him innocently, without knowing Mr. Martin is a devourer. Mr. Martins played along while they drank and ate. At some point, she became tipsy. What a wolf in sheep clothing. Mr. Martins took her to the matrimonial bed of her parents and raped her there countless times, devastating her vigorously. Ah, what a tragedy. What a pain. Betrayal from people one loved and one trusted. Let's continue. The Valentine's Day celebration that will come again next year made her lose her virginity forever. And believe you, no amount of cry or regret can fix that. She was still sleeping when her parents returned. They were shocked with what they saw before them. The hidden CCTV camera was the only source of the identifier. Mr. Martin was arrested, yet what has happened has happened. They stated that she was not forced. Looking at the video from the beginning, she invited him actually, and they are friends. Ah, what a tragedy. Mr. Adolphus and Mrs. Rosaline Adolphus were so broken, they chose to change from that day to give attention to their kids and know what goes around them. Please, dear parents, money is not everything. Attention can matter so much more than money. Do not wait to have these negative experiences. And for the teenagers, please don't easily be deceived. It's not all that glitter that is good. Please, our parents, let's give attention to these kids. They have short memories and most of them can easily be deceived. Let's put watch to them. Let's make them friends. Get interested in what they are interested in. The next month, it was discovered that Miss Savage have conceived. The parents tried and did everything possible to terminate the pregnancy, but it could not hold water, so they were advised to leave it. Miss Savage carried it till 9 months and gave birth to the son. Mr. Martins, after some time, was released by the custody and he came back. On hearing that Miss Savage got pregnant and gave birth to a son, he demanded to have his son. The parents refused, saying that Miss Savage is still a student and needs to complete the school. And in Igbo land, Akwana ane wenwa, Iko anage wenwa, that somebody that did not marry a person properly, don't own the child. Mr. Martin accepted to do whatever necessary to marry Miss Savage, but that would make Miss Savage a second wife, which as a teenager and as a young person, she was too aged to do that. And Mr. Martins is not willing to let go. That was when it was discovered that Mr. Martin is a very terrible person. Someone that has spent some time at the prison, someone that has spent some time at the custody should have been humbled, but rather it took him more serious. Now, Miss Savage is in between. Are you going to accept to marry and be a second wife, or are you going to further your education? The parents still stood their ground. Mr. Martins paid a tech engineer, a tech guy, and gave Miss Savage pictures to the engineer. That fateful Valentine's Day, he slept with her. He took some pictures of her nakedness and her matrimonial bed, and this he used to circulate through the tech engineer, around the social media. Now, the problem is not that Miss Savage got pregnancy out of wedlock. The problem is not that Miss Savage gave birth at home without finishing her education, because that delayed her education. The problem is not that Miss Martin slept with a married man. Now, the most heartbreaking, deteriorating emotion incident is that the event of her and her nakedness is all over the social media. That is making it so impossible for anyone to marry her. Even to continue schooling, she will not be emotionally stable to do that. That looks like a retaliation from Mr. Martin to the family. Monkey, lion, they lie down, monkey do they wake up. Trouble, they sleep. People go, they wake up. The broken people will say, what is life that people keep looking for trouble? But many times, we make ourselves prone to these problems. If you want to get more of the stories, please comment. Thank you for always tuning in to African Relaxing Tales of the G's. Like, share, and subscribe. The best will receive. Thank you.